Are you ready to create your vision? Stay tuned. Welcome to the virtual vision board session. In today's session, we will be creating a vision board to display throughout the year. This vision board session can be completed anytime during the year. So whether you're accessing it at the top of the year for the calendar year, or during the middle of the year for the fiscal year or school year, or even at the end of the year, this session can be completed at any time you feel like you need a new beginning. To comfortably complete this session, I would suggest setting aside 8 hours of time, if possible, just to give yourself enough time to gather your supplies, to prepare, to set everything up, and to complete each hourly task. If you already have your supplies and have prepared ahead of schedule, the session can possibly be done in a shorter time. But to comfortably finish and so that you're not rushed or stressed, I would say to set aside 8 hours to complete the entire session in one sitting or break down the session into hourly blocks. The reason I'm an advocate for setting aside a chunk of time is that if you complete the task in a shorter amount of time, then you can redeem the time. So say, for example, you set aside 8 hours, but you actually get it done in 5. You have 3 hours of unscheduled time that you can do something with, like go to the park, watch a movie, or go do something that you enjoy. So I am an advocate for setting aside more time, or at least the amount you need. Then if you complete things more quickly, you get to redeem the time at the end and do something fun with it. Keeping that in mind, the following is a session agenda for today. First of all, our supplies. We will gather and verify we have all the supplies needed before we start. Secondly, we will prep, that is, prepare our work area, whether we're working on a desk, a table, the floor, etc., to protect the surface and our flooring and ourselves. See the link in the description for videos to more detailed information on these items. When we actually get into the session itself, it will be several hours long, and the hourly breakdown goes as follows. Hour 1, we will do the searching. That is where we will look through magazines and newspapers, marking items of interest with a pen or dog earing the page. Also, we'll set aside any printouts or pictures we don't mind gluing to our vision board. During the second hour, that will be our cutting. We will go back through and rough cut the marked wording and images. During hour 3 will be our formatting. That is where we will arrange the wording and lettering and pictures on our board in the format that we prefer. Hour 4 will be where we glue down the images, wording, printouts, and pictures onto the board. After that, we will do closeout and next steps, where we will finalize the session and give next steps information. So that is the rundown of the schedule for today. Alrighty, so here is everything that is needed for the virtual vision board session. We have in back here a vision board, also magazines, and also I have a pack of glue sticks. This is 4 for $1 from the Dollar Tree, and then scissors to cut up the magazines and newspapers. Also a needed item are 2 timers, one set for 25 minutes and another set for 5 minutes. So the easiest way would be to go online and go to online stopwatch, the full screen version, do a countdown timer for 25 minutes in one tab, and then go to the next tab, do the same website, and do a 5-minute timer. And this is because we are setting up the work sessions in 25-minute chunks. So how the hour will go, you'll work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break, and then work for another 25 minutes and take a 5-minute break. So if you get done with the task at hand earlier than the If you get done with the task sooner than when the time is up for the 25 minutes, then that is where I talked about redeeming the time. Either you could go on to the next task at hand and just continue on in the video, or you can use that break time to do something else, and then you will hear a timer from your computer to alert you to come back and finish up. So that is the easiest way to do it. You can also use your phone timer or a kitchen timer or a microwave timer, anything like that, but it's easiest to set it on a computer, and that way you can toggle back and forth between the two tabs to set the timers for your work time and your break time. Getting ready to do the vision board, and I've put a cloth, just some old fabric, over the desk before I put on the plastic tablecloth. I just got a Dollar Tree plastic tablecloth so that it wouldn't ruin the wood staying on the desk, but also put this fabric on there as well, so if there's any bleed through or even a hole in the plastic, it won't ruin anything. And then so that plastic won't be directly on the wood. If you see, this is kind of like the underside of the fabric, and here is the fabric itself. It's actually a pretty nice fabric, but it's just a scrap. So the nicer side is on the actual wood desk, and then the underside I'm going to use as a to catch anything that may bleed through. So then I'm going to put the plastic on top. Okay, and I have put the plastic over the desk now to do the vision board. And so I did double the tablecloth. It was just a rectangular tablecloth from the Dollar Tree, just $1. And I doubled it and then laid it over the desk and brought it all the way down so that we don't have any overhang spillage or anything. I won't be doing much where there will be a lot of things that could spill onto the desk, but just to be super double safe with the finish. I will have glue. I may do a little bit with some colored ink pens, but for the most part I'm not doing any markers or anything like that I know of right now, but we'll see how it progresses. As you do your vision board, it kind of comes to you and you get different ideas. So for right now, I'm gonna just look at magazines, do cutouts, and do glue on lettering and wording and pictures. So this is the setup for the desk. So here's me in my comfy t-shirt, my family reunion t-shirt, and I put on some stretch pants and some socks, just some black stuff here to just be comfortable while I do this vision board. So get your comfy clothes, something you don't mind getting some glue on that can be washed, machine washable, or thrown out if you so inclined. Alrighty, so I added back the vision board supplies, and I am ready to roll now. And as you can see, since I filmed the last piece of footage here, I got a few more things added to the stack here. So I have been steadily collecting. So it's better to have more and not need it than to have less and need more. So in this case, more is better. So I'm going to get started on thumbing through the magazines and newspapers and looking for inspiration. I usually mark pages and then come back and cut out. There's no right or wrong way to do it. I just usually do that because sometimes there's a page where I want what's on the front of that page and what's on the back of that page. So I have to make a decision. Am I going to cut out the front or the back? So a lot of times I mark the pages first, just put a little flag on the page that I'm going into. For example, if I was to open this and I like this page, I would just flag the page, and then I usually look at the back of the page and say, oh, what's on the back of there? Do I like that better? And which side do I want? You have to kind of make a decision on which side you want. So I usually just flag the page, and then I come back through and I do my cut out. But we're going to take the time to look through the magazines right now. Alright, now that we are done looking through the stack, everything is stacked up and the pages are flagged as far as the pages that have the either print or the pictures that we want to use on our vision board. Now it's time for, next step, cutting. So we're gonna go back through that stack and cut them out. Like I said, I like to do it step by step. This way I feel like it goes a little bit faster, because what tends to happen if you're looking and cutting at the same time, you don't get to look through the whole stack and see what you want or see kind of the inspiration that inspires you. So for me, the most significant item that I saw as I looked through the magazines and the newspaper was this right here. So it is an advertisement for a ring that says faith, and it says faith at the center of it all. So I believe that's going to be my one piece that kind of guides how I'm going to make the vision board. Each time I've made it, there's been one piece that kind of guided the direction of the vision board. It may not all be about this particular piece, but for this one, I'm going to put it in the middle. Sometimes my inspiration piece has gone at the top right corner, and then I kind of flow down from there. Sometimes it's gone in the middle. It's been all over the place because I've done vision boards each year for several years, probably since 2000, the mid 2010s, I guess, 2011-ish, somewhere around there. But I've done them for almost probably coming up on 11 years now. So I can definitely say that they work. You see that I'm still doing them. So I believe in them, and not only believe in them, I know they actually work. What I actually do also, once I complete the vision board and things start to come to pass, I will write down the date or the month and the year that that particular item came to pass, and maybe sometimes a little sentence or a few words that kind of capture what happened, the situation that happened where the item on the vision board came to pass. Next step, we're going to go back through that stack and cut everything out. So get your scissors, get ready to start cutting out, and we will come back. And just like we did with the looking through all the items, give yourself a significant amount of time. I would say the same amount of time. So if you did 30 minutes before, do 30 minutes again. If you did an hour before, do an hour again. So give yourself a good amount of time to do this. Don't rush yourself. Pace yourself. And as you go, you can do one of two things. You can collect all of your items on the side if you have a big enough table, or you can put them in oftentimes for years I put them in Ziploc bags, or even have an item like this, like a little tub to put the items in, but you need somewhere to corral them. It would be good to probably put it in a tub that can have a lid on it, or a Ziploc bag that can be closed, because if you need to come back to it later, they will all be there safe and sound. You don't have to worry about a breeze or somebody closing a door and air flowing through and then everything flying off the table and onto the floor. Or even if you're on the floor, say you spread out like a tablecloth or something like this on the floor to kind of do your vision board, then if somebody walks by, or if a door again swings open or closed and air flows through, it can move all of your items out of the way. So somewhere to corral your items would be great as well. So we're going to get to cutting and then corralling our items. So here is my final cut. Just going to cut around this a little bit. Have little scraps. I do have a bag for scrap cuts as well that I will be putting this in. And I still have that bag of scrap wording and pictures that I will still use if necessary. So these are all the things I went through and saw that I liked, and I'd like cut around it a little bit more. Next step, on to the arranging. So we'll take, and you remember how I said that faith ring was my inspiration piece. I put that at the bottom, put everything else on top of it face down, so I could go back to that first to start the process of putting the vision board together. So I'm going to put that. I'm going to start with it in the middle. If that doesn't work, I'm just going to keep playing with it and moving it around until I get it in a design that I like. But I'm going to start with that and then take each piece out and kind of arrange them around and see where they kind of fit. And then you kind of just get a flow for it. So I'm going to move the camera up so you can see behind my shoulder and see what I'm doing, how I'm doing this. So I moved everything out of the way and I'm about to start. So as you can see, I kind of arranged it to a certain point, but I'm in general kind of grouping items that are similar. To the left bottom, those are like items that have like holiday wording in them. I may take the holiday wording out and just use the words that I need to use that aren't related to the holiday. But for right now, I'm not sure of what direction I'm going to go. So I'm just going to put all the holiday wording items together. And then kind of in the middle where that faith is at the center of it all, ring, I put some ideas or wording that kind of express my outlook on my faith. So kind of grouping those in the middle. And then at the bottom, I put that huge banner that says friends and family. I haven't found anything else that relates to that. So sometimes if you find a one-off item that is an item that doesn't relate to anything else, you can still keep it, of course. There's no right or wrong way to do it with a vision board, or you can say, well, that kind of doesn't fit. But if it's something that fits within the vision of what you have for your life, then definitely keep it. So friends and family is something that fits with the vision of my life right now. So I'm going to most likely keep it. So this hour, we're going to focus on the arranging. So I'm going to stop here and give yourself about 30 minutes to an hour. Alrighty, so this is my initial vision board. I have not glued everything down yet, but I kind of put it where I want it to go on the board. And then I'm going to come back again and kind of refine it, clear out some things because I got too much. Looks like it won't all fit on there unless I start pasting on top of each other, which is fine as well, to stack things. But I kind of like to have them individually seen. So I will come back and clear it out a little bit more. Alrighty, so here's the layout of the final vision board. I'm gonna go ahead and glue everything down now, and then I will come back and talk about it. And I do have to stand up for this part so I can actually glue it down. Just a couple things to note. I do have to go back in that first bag of scraps to get some more wording. There are two places on here. One is at the top center. It says that first thing with the ring that I like that said faith, the center of it all. I have the word God above that. So I'm going to go back in the first bag of scraps and grab the word in. So it'll say faith in God, the center of it all. And then there's another place down here where it says rethink what you think about, and there's a blank, and I'm going to insert the word marriage. So and it's above the ring, so that's just something to keep in mind. That's why I say keep that first bag of scraps. I'm going to glue it down, and then I will be back to talk about it. So here is the final vision board as it stands. Because this video is kind of long already, I'm not going to go over each element in this video, but I will put a link to the next video where I will go in depth on the vision board. So that is it. But before you go, we have a couple closeout and next steps. Here are a few things to do now that you've finished the session. First of all, celebrate it. You did it. This is the first step in manifesting your dreams. Be proud of yourself and grateful that you took the first steps of faith to start you on this journey. Great job. Also, capture it. Take pictures so you can have a digital version and use them as your background or desktop on your phone, laptop, iPad, or computer. And keep them in your camera roll. Also, print out a copy and either punch holes in it or put it in a sleeve protector to put in our binders that we'll create for the series. Next, share it. Email or text pictures with your testimony to thewisewomanways@gmail.com with the subject, New Beginning Now. Let me know if I can share your testimony with the world or if you'd like to keep it between us. I will send you encouraging emails along the way either way. Or you can post your pictures and or videos to Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube with the hashtag New Beginning Now and tag @thewisewomanways. In addition, hang it. Also, an optional step would be to find a place to hang your board so that the vision stays before you. I highly encourage this. You can even frame it. Check out the links in the description to the poster board frame. Also, if you hadn't seen it, check out the prior video to create a pegboard for your vision board and a command center. Last but not least, log it. Remember, as each item from the board comes true in your life, write the date near it on the board and a brief description. Keep up the great work and hope to hear from you soon. Thank you so much for joining me and stay tuned for the next video.